and that's beautiful sci-fi shit. It's a...
Denis Villeneuve, the man behind modern classics like Sicario, Arrival, and Dune, is something of an enigma in Hollywood. The acclaimed Canadian director is known for his visually stunning and emotionally charged films, which go beyond just filmmaking. Villeneuve is an artist, driven by his passions, influences, and thematic explorations, allowing him to hold similar freedoms to many other filmmakers who are described as auteurs. However, unlike his peers, Villeneuve's movies aren't known for breaking the box office. So with Dune 2 in cinemas, let's talk about the enigma that is Denis Villeneuve, and if he can truly be called an auteur. Hello all you wonderful people, my name's Tommy and I am delighted to welcome you to Podcast Assemble. True auteurism is hard to come by, with the term generally referring to a director whose films encompass a distinctive, recognizable style and thematic focus that draws from their own personal vision. However, true auteurism mostly comes down to the level of control granted to the director. Auteurs are often seen as the primary author of the film, similar to the way a writer is the author of a novel. Take, for example, Steven Spielberg or Alfred Hitchcock, two pioneers of directorial auteurism who hail from very different eras of Hollywood, but similar in their unmistakable styles, thematic focus, and creative control over their works. Denis Villeneuve has carved himself a distinct path in the industry, being known for his visually stunning, emotionally charged films, exploring themes of human nature, trauma, and identity. However, his time in Hollywood hasn't necessarily delivered the box office returns possibly expected of a director wielding such creative control. Wes Spielberg's Hollywood debut Jaws was created on a budget of around $9 million and returned around $700 million globally. Villeneuve's returns have been significantly more modest. Denis Villeneuve's movies paint a picture of a man obsessed with storytelling, seeking to explore the human condition through compelling narratives that resonate deeply with audiences. Villeneuve uses visual storytelling as a means of exploring his artistic and creative passions, meticulously creating each frame, drawing inspiration from not only paintings and photography, but other art forms as well. Villeneuve uses his canvas to investigate different genres that intrigue him. Though his most recent work on the likes of Blade Runner and Arrival have resulted in Villeneuve strongly been associated with sci-fi, his earlier features, such as Prisoners and Sicario, frame a man who finds excitement in pushing the boundaries of experimenting with different forms of storytelling. Take Dune, for example. Dune is a story that has been heralded as unadaptable by many for so many years because of its heady themes, unyielding narrative, and mostly because of how bloody dense it is. The story is one of betrayal and rising from the ashes, while deeply exploring themes of human nature, all wrapped in groundbreaking sci-fi. On the surface, Villeneuve seems to be the perfect person to bring this to life. However, he isn't the first. Villeneuve's contemporary David Lynch disastrously attempted to adapt the story back in 1984, while 2000's Frank Herbert's Dune attempted to give the story more room to breathe by adapting the source material as a show for the Sci-Fi Channel. And that's still not all. However, Villeneuve is a student of the artistic language of filmmaking, citing the likes of Stanley Kubrick as an inspiration for his works, admiring Kubrick's ability to create profound and thought-provoking films that explore complex themes. Now, Dune was in no way a perfect adaptation. However, the visually stunning and emotionally charged nature of Villeneuve's works highlight a director on his way to true auteurism in the same way as the likes of Kubrick. Like I said, true auteurism is hard to come by. In fact, Villeneuve noted the influence of many of his peers on his works, acknowledging the influence of contemporary filmmakers like, somewhat ironically, David Lynch, Paul Thomas Anderson, and even Christopher Nolan. All the while, the movie industry becomes increasingly risk-averse, with the rise of the rebootuation, a reboot of a long-dead franchise continuing or retooling the story, think Matrix Resurrections, along with the cinematic universes becoming the main focus of Hollywood. The role of the auteur is equally more and less important than ever, depending on your perspective. While Chris Nolan's projects are able to hold their own against the likes of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, Denis Villeneuve's films for the most part have underwhelmed at the box office, though he is given the creative control some directors can only dream of. Take for example Blade Runner 2049, sat squarely in the realm of rebootuation, based on an existing, beloved, and even if somewhat niche franchise. It lured one of the most talented up-and-coming directors in Villeneuve to helm the film. However, on a reported budget of $185 million, it only brought in around $260 million at the global box office. That may sound pretty good on the surface, but when you factor in things like marketing and other costs, the movie likely just about broke even, despite being one of the most visually stunning and thought-provoking movies of recent times. Though his works have yet to reach the levels of return on investment boasted by other auteur filmmakers, Denis is seen as somewhat commercially viable while retaining his passion for the artistic nature of film, standing him firmly in the conversation as the next auteur. The real question is, does making money even truly matter to an auteur? Well, perhaps not, but you can bet your bottom dollar it does to the studios investing in the projects. Regardless, I'll see anything Denis makes. His visual storytelling talks to me on a level not many other directors have reached. But what we want to know is, what do you think? Do you think Denis Villeneuve is the next auteur in Hollywood? Must the role of the auteur evolve to survive? Let me know in the comments below. And while you're there, feel free to drop us a like and subscribe. It really helps with algorithms and stuff I don't really understand. We've covered Dune Part 2 on our regular Podcast Assemble, which I'll link below along with our website, www.podcastassemble.com. Why not join us for more sci-fi content? Thanks for popping by, guys. Tally ho!